But to be honest, y'all, I'm reading what these folks are writing, defending the NFL and that shield, stating that Shedeur Sanders wasn't picked because teams didn't like him. Well, they liked him, but they didn't love him. I understand. You may not like him, but when the public is ticked off, not because of your likes, but who you picked ahead of him. That's where the problem is. That's where the outrage is. And I'm listening to people on their podcasts, on their shows, and they're defending it. And they saying it's, I heard one guy was talking about, it's real dangerous at the media. They're putting stuff out like collusion and this. Come on, you act like the NFL have never colluded or blackballed anybody before. Come on. That's why the public is ticked off at you, because y'all defend foolishness. You work for the network. That's why you saying it. But I thank God we have our own podcast and people seen it and they were upset with it. And some people had the audacity of saying that when the people on the draft commentary begin to get defensive behind Shedeur and to make statements, they were riling up the public and causing people to hate Shedeur. People hated Shedeur because he's a free man. He has his own money. Every trap they set for him, he's beating them. They say, well, he ain't got no stats. He went out and put the stats. Offensive player of the year. He did his thing. 2 losing programs made them winning programs. He did that behind a bum offensive line. And I'm not disrespecting the players. Please don't take it like that. But when I say bum, I'm talking about one that was not efficient. Behind a bad offensive line, he still threw over 4,100 yards and still made Offensive Player of the Year. So you tell me, y'all, come on. You got people with lesser talent going ahead of them, and we, the public, supposed to sit back here like we didn't see what just happened? We didn't see what just happened? Come on. You think we stupid? And you got these people, these tokens up here speaking out for the NFL, saying it. I understand a team has the right to pick a player, but how do you justify picking lesser players? And I'm not trying to be dismissive or disrespectful to the quarterbacks that were picked, but bottom line, look, he fell to the 5th round. Okay, he fell to the 5th round. It would be different if they didn't take any other quarterback. We understand there were 5 other quarterbacks taken ahead of him. Let me get this thing. Let me get this thing up here. There were 4 other quarterbacks taken ahead of Shedeur. Excuse me. 4 other quarterbacks. Tennessee Titans, of course, the number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward. We knew that was going to happen. He deserved the number 1 role based on a lot of people's mocks. But then, based on those same people's mocks, Shedeur was number 2, and he is ahead of the class. But then you got the Giants, who need a quarterback. But again, with the Giants, I understand. They thought Daniel Jones was Tom Brady. They took Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley. Okay? And you saw how last year turned out. So I'm going to leave that at that. But they traded back in the 1st round with the 25th pick and took Jackson Dart. And they compared him to Josh Allen. Really? The man who melted down in the postseason of his college. We watch the game again. He had a meltdown. He was just totally lost. Under pressure, he just fell apart. And guess what? In the NFL, it's all pressure. It's all pressure. Ask Daniel Jones. Pick up the phone. Call Daniel Jones. Say, Daniel, was there any pressure in New York? And he will tell you there's a lot of pressure. Every game brings pressure. Guess what? That locker room will bring pressure. And I'm not saying Shedeur is the end-all, be-all. I'm not saying he's the second coming. But I always look at it like this. If you got 3 people in the room, there should be a decisive 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. But when second and third go ahead of first, you have a problem. When third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th go before second, you have a problem. And that's what the public's saying. Ain't nobody crying and over spilled milk over that. We understood he fell out the first round. In the second round, he fell out. But look at these picks. I'm looking at it right now. You look at the Saints. They drafted Tyler Shuck with the 40th overall. They need a quarterback. And if they and what's going around is that Shedeur Sanders is a backup. If Shedeur Sanders is a backup, and he may well be, but they have some good backups out there that they paying them big money right now. Hint, hint. But look at this. With the 40th, so they said Tyler Shuck and his work and what he's done in college is above Shedeur. Yeah, he's above Shedeur, blah, blah, blah. He's the guy to go. And then you got the Seahawks taking Jalen Milroe. Come on, bro. You taking him? He's definitely a project. He has great attributes. He has all the physical. He has all that. And I'm not knocking the young man. Jalen Milroe. I'm sorry. I'm not knocking him. But you're saying he was above Shedeur. He could throw a deep ball. He has this. He has that. But if you take all the bum plays and stuff he's done in college, he would be a better person. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I should have bought Bitcoin when they first came out, but I didn't. And I got what I got. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just looking at here, man. And then you look at the Cleveland Browns. Took Dylan Gabriel with the 94th overall pick over Shedeur. So they looked on the board and they said, I got Dylan Gabriel and I got Shedeur. Body of work versus body of work. I'll take Dylan Gabriel. And then they double back around and picked them up at the end. Come on, y'all. The outrage is, I'm tired of people. I'm tired of tokens in the media. Thank God for podcasts that speak the truth. Tokens in the media going to justify what the NFL did. That don't even make sense to you. That's like you going for a job interview and you've been managing something for 4 years and you've done all that and you got references and your work is spoken for you for them to hire the janitor over you. Come on, y'all. And you know I'm not lying. You know I'm not lying. That's the NFL. And then I was just waiting. I didn't even put this rant or whatever you want to call it out there. I was just waiting for someone to stick up. I was looking on here. I'm online now. And I'm going to call names too. I'm on here looking and they said, who's this guy? Matt Hasselbeck. Matt Hasselbeck said this. I'm going to read it. Maybe he wasn't elite as the selfishness, humility, humble part. There were other quarterbacks that were maybe equal talent level or close enough who maybe were off the charts in some of the other intangibles. So what you're saying is Milroe, we know he's gifted. But does his work effort and stats match up to be close to Shedeur? Dylan Gabriel, match up. Tyler Shuck, match up. Come on, y'all. Miss me with that. So they had enough time to get the story and the narrative together. Now they putting it out after the draft. But there were no answers through the draft. You had Mel Kiper going off, and people are mad at Mel Kiper and that announce team for how they handled the Shedeur Sanders. Don't get mad at them. They were only saying what we were saying. We know Shedeur is not a Josh Allen, and we didn't say that. We just said fair is fair. He didn't get the top 3 quarterback. Okay, maybe they traded in and they got Jackson Dart. The next one off the Browns should have took Shedeur before they took Dylan Gabriel. You mean to say y'all sitting in y'all war room and y'all saw Dylan Gabriel was head above Shedeur? Come on. Y'all crazy to think the public believes that. You're crazy. The Browns Now I'm going to have 5 quarterbacks. One can't play this year. Of course, Deshaun Watson. You got the starter right now is going to be Joe Flacco. And behind him, you got Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur. And my prayer is I hope Shedeur go in there and do such a great job that some other team says, you know what? We should have picked him. And they make a trade for him. Did you see the faces of the Cleveland? I really believe someone called them and told them to stop the bleeding, to take him. Because it makes no sense for you to have a roster of 5 quarterbacks on staff. And I know people say, well, they was going to have 4 if Deshaun wasn't hurt. And because during the preseason, you don't have your starter. I understand that. But now but that's the same team that took 2 running backs. 2 running backs, 2 quarterbacks. Where's your wide receiver? Where's your help out there? Who's your second, third, and fourth? Was there talent in the draft at wide receiver? Some of those players that played big ball, played for some top schools that didn't get drafted. You didn't see one of them as a replacement for one of those running backs that you need a wide receiver 2, a definitive wide receiver 2 or 1A or 1B. You didn't see that? Fans, you right. You are 100% right. We can pick a team better than some of these executives. And people say, oh, y'all just don't know what you're doing. Well, you don't know what you're doing. Every year we have this mess. Lamar Jackson. Patrick Mahomes. Look at these guys. Look at them. Brock Purdy. You didn't see none of these, but you saw Tyler Shuck, Dylan Gabriel, and these guys were better than Shedeur Sanders. They were better. They were close to him. No, they weren't. Is Shedeur a number 1 franchise quarterback? He hasn't proven it. Neither has Tyler Shuck. Neither has Jackson Dart. No one is proven. But based on stats and drafting and stuff, you trying to say that the number 2 quarterback was really the number 6 quarterback or number 5 quarterback? And a quarterback star of NFL? Come on. Come on, y'all. Write down in my comments. Tell me what you really think. Be honest. I'm not going to be mad at you. Tell me what you think. Was the 4 quarterbacks that were taken by those teams better than Shedeur Sanders? But tell me. Was they better? Were they better? If they're better, let me know. And I'll leave it alone. Huh? Were they better? All right, y'all. Ravens flock. That's going to be it for today. I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers, but hey, this is what I do. That's why we have the Ravens Football Junkies Podcast. We love all things football, and we love our Ravens. And I know people say, well, why are you talking about Shedeur when this is a Ravens podcast? It's bigger than that. We talk all things football. Ravens primary, NFL secondary, and everything that we talk about here connects to the Ravens because Lamar went through with Shedeur. Not as bad because thank God for Ozzie trading back in, grabbing this kid. But in that draft, be honest, the quarterbacks they took above Lamar, based on stats, had a better college career, and guess what? They went what they wanted. I'm not talking about 1 or 2 years, the whole career, but that was a good draft class. But, again, that's a wrap for me, y'all. I love y'all guys. Do me a favor. If this is your first time, second time, third time tuning into this podcast, do me a favor. Be me a big favor. Click the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. Give me a like and do share it. This is the Ravens Football Junkie Podcast. Right up here at the top, I have our mailbag. If you have any questions, I will read them online, give you an answer, and we can talk about it in a future show. Come on, y'all. I love y'all. Thank you. I do what I do because of you, and I look forward to talking to you real soon. I am.